Baruch here with genConnect and Senator Bill Frist. Senator Frist, you've had two of the most stressful jobs in the world. You've been a transplant surgeon and you've been Senate Majority Leader. Which one was more stressful?
Ooh, more stressful. I'd have to say both are stressful in the sense of responsibility. But when it comes down to which is a greater responsibility, it's a hard one to answer. For stress, it would probably be a heart transplant. You know, the first time by myself after about 12 years of training that I was able to make an incision and lift the human heart out and then put it in over to the side and then put a new heart in, and the heart rate goes up, and the concern about it and the responsibility about it is a little more stressful, I think, than running the United States Senate.
But I'm sure you had moments while running the Senate where you thought, you know what, there are some lives in my hands right now.
It's exactly right. And a lot of people say heart transplants, medicine versus the Senate doesn't make sense. But it does make sense because in the Senate, whether it is the decision whether or not to go to war, where ultimately thousands of people died, huge responsibility that the American people give you, the opportunity to make a decision that will save over time 10 million lives through HIV/AIDS. Is that stressful? Yeah, it is. Do you do it? Do you not? Do you go to the American people and say $15 billion? And the answer is yes. So those decisions are not that unlike the real privilege of being able to do a heart transplant or a lung transplant on an 18-year-old girl who would otherwise die within 18 months. You want it to go perfectly. You want it to go well. You strive for no error whatsoever. But if it works, a fulfilling life is given to an 18-year-old that goes on for 30, 40, 50 years.
Take me back to that moment in the 90s. You're a successful surgeon. You're extremely successful in the healthcare industry. And you decide, you know what? I'm going to run for office. What was going through your mind?
Well, the real night was the night that I told Karen, my wife, and I went home, and after 20 years of working hard, and the transplant world is a hard world. It was 7 days a week, operating through night after night. Transplants hadn't been figured out totally, so it was a big learning curve for us all. And then when I went home and said, I think that we need to shift our lives and go serve 12 years, no more, in the United States Senate, all of a sudden the lights flipped on and people were flying out of bed and saying, are you kidding me? But it was a decision based on service one-on-one through medicine, which my dad did and my brothers did. It was just something that we grew up with. Committing just having others live a better life to the health of a community or of a state, and ultimately as majority leader of a country. And that opportunity I saw out there. I never had run for public office. I never served in public office. Nobody in my family had ever been in politics. But once I made that decision, we made it and we got on that path, and it ended up being the right thing to do.
Thank you, Senator Frist.
Thank you.
And for more with Senator Frist, be sure to check out genConnect.